Bucks lose it tonight, 106-103 to the Miami Heat. NBA Cup action. Come on in the room. Let me check the restream, make sure we're live. I think we are, but I'm not sure just yet. But come on in the room. 106-103 was your final on tonight. Bucks don't get the dub, just not enough. Not enough as they fall just short. Yeah, I think we are live. All right, I think it worked. I had to do some technical difficulties. You know what it is? When I'm running the show, producing it tonight, come on in the room. Doc is our Dr. Rice on the show. She gives us our medicine in our room. We are live. It's Cream City Crossover Guru Trey. I was the third.
Justin.
All right, Justin in the building. We're all in the building. I'm still trying to pull up the YouTube on my end. I don't know why it's not coming. Is it coming up on your end, Justin?
Let me check.
I can't get anything on the YouTube, so I can't see if there's anything in the chat. But I do see it on Twitter. I'm just not sure what's going on. But if you're on,
dangerous for me reading the comments tonight.
You say what? Can you see the
Might
YouTube?
Be dangerous for me.
I don't know. So anyway, if it's working, it's working. I think it is. I just need some verification on the link. Let me know when you see it.
Yeah, we got folks in the chat. We're good to go. I can read the chat story.
All right, good deal. All right, so we're in the chat. Okay, so you're on the chat. Hit us up on the chat in the Twitter at OnYourTSQs973. That's where you need to go to find us, or here in the chat. Hopefully, I can pull it up in a second here. But a 106-103 loss. The Milwaukee Bucks lose to the Miami Heat. Honorary member of the Miami Heat tonight was Cole Anthony. Shout out to him for playing for the Heat. He switched sides. I don't know what was going on with that, but we'll talk about it right here as the Bucks do lose tonight and an NBA Cup night. Come on in the room. Let's have some fun tonight and enjoy yourselves on Thanksgiving Eve. Appreciate it for spending it out here. Again, if you're glad that the CCC is up and running tonight, even with the technical difficulties, and you coming in the room, please hit that like button. Smash that like button on the way into the room. 106-103 Miami Heat with the dub. Let's get into a game recap tonight. How about Ryan Rollins? 41 minutes tonight. I thought Rollins struggled through it. He played through it. And again, that's the mark to me, really the mark to me of a good player. Honestly, a guy who comes out, does everything he needs to do. It looked like he was struggling, I thought, to start the game. And then he found his way through it. And I thought he looked good. I really did. Thought it was a good night for him to finish up 26, 7, and 5. One steal, 11 and 24 from the field. So 24 shots to get 26 points, 4-14 from three. But I thought the second half was really good. Ended up being a +6. Did have 4 turnovers. So you got to clean some of that up. But again, first quarter was rough. First half was kind of rough. But I thought he cleaned things up and played nicely to get himself through it. Gary Trent Jr., big shots, 15 points from him, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 steals, 5 of 14. 5 of 14 from the field for him, 5 of 12 from 3. Let's see here. He was a +10. Again, I thought in the second half, I thought Gary Trent Jr., big shots in the third, big shots in the fourth. Miles Turner, 24, 8, and 2 tonight with 1 block, 9 and 15 from the field. He was a +11 tonight. Again, this is another one, Justin. All starters were were positive players. Let's get this straight. The Milwaukee Bucks starters tonight, this is the first time without Giannis, the starters were better than the Miami Heat starters. There's no question about that. So tonight was not a night. And again, I know we've been a lot of doom and gloom, some on this show, from some of the comments, some of the people watching, and you guys commenting, listening, and talking to us. Tonight's not one of those nights. Your starters outplayed the Miami Heat tonight. Let's keep that clear. Your bench lost the game, which is okay. I mean, I will live with what happened tonight. If the Milwaukee Bucks had played all the games without Giannis the way they played them tonight, they would have went 3-3. They'd won half of those games. Tonight was a good night. Now, Miami Heat are a good basketball team. Tyler Hero was back. That's a good basketball team. And I thought the Bucks played very well for the most part. Miles Turner, to me, this was his best offensive night. Easily his best offensive night. Because you saw him hit his three-point shot. You saw the Milwaukee Bucks. And a lot of people talking about Doc Rivers. I honestly thought that the game plan was solid tonight. You got Miles Turner in the paint. Every time he got a small on him, they attacked it every single time. You got to a little bit of mid-range. You got to the late. I thought Miles Turner, this is the Miles Turner I thought we traded for. 24-8, 9 of 15. That will play. Kyle Kuzma tonight was massive on the boards. You saw a difference in his basketball team. You stayed pace 47-47 on the rebounding. 47-47 on the rebounding game tonight. You found something tonight. Kyle Kuzma, 12 rebounds. Great on the boards. 8 points, 12 boards, 6 assists. He was 4 of 12. Plus 1 tonight. AJ Green, 12 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. He found Miles Turner on the roll lot.
How many rebounds?
He had 5 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, you saw all of your guys outside of Gary Trent Jr., Ryan Rollins 7 boards, Miles Turner 8 boards, Kyle Kuzma 12 boards, AJ Green 5 boards. Everybody crashed the glass tonight. That's what you need to see. Bobby Portis 9 points, 4 rebounds. Cole Anthony 2 points, 4 boards. Jericho Sims 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Gary Harris 3 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist for him tonight. Minus 17 Gary Harris, minus 14 Jericho Sims, minus 10 Cole Anthony, minus 7 Bobby Portis. That lost you the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. That was why you lost the ball game. And on the flip side, look at the Miami Heat. Norm Powell, minus 11. Bam Adebayo, minus 11. Andrew Wiggins, minus 4. Davion Mitchell, minus 8. Their bench, Smith, plus 11. Khalil Ware, plus 16. Jaime Jaquez, plus 5. Larson, plus 13. Their bench won them the game. The Bucks bench lost the game. But Norm Powell, 11 points, 4 rebounds. Wiggins, 11 points, 2 boards. Bam Adebayo, 17-11. Tyler Hero, 29, 5, and 7. Davion Mitchell, 2 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists. And Khalil Ware, 11 points, 9 rebounds. Drew Smith, that was 5 points, 3 boards. Jaime Jaquez, 10 and 4. But again, that was explaining the game. I thought the Bucks played well tonight. I thought they did everything that they could do. And one guy to me, really two. One guy in particular lost. You talk about the bench, but it was Cole Anthony, 2-pack of ass. Cole Anthony, again, we talked about should you play Mark Sears? Should you? At one point, Doc Rivers just played. Again, we're in the fourth quarter, and we're playing without a point guard. We're in the fourth quarter playing without a point guard because Cole Anthony was so terrible. I didn't realize Ryan Rollins played 41 minutes. So, again, I get it from Doc Rivers. What do you want him to do? Cole Anthony only played 11 minutes. Like, again, the only options are you either don't play Cole Anthony or you play Mark Sears. And maybe Doc Rivers hasn't seen enough of Mark Sears. I don't know. But that's the only – so I get it. A lot of people are hating on Doc Rivers and upset. Where do you want him to go? You're either playing without a point guard or you're playing at Mark Sears. Cole Anthony, how bad you played he was a minus 10, 11 minutes. I don't know. I don't know how bad you could be in 11 minutes, man. And Cole Anthony found a way to be so bad in 11 minutes that you lost the game. There was a stretch in the fourth. He just lost the game. The Bucks were down 6-8 the whole game. I mean, at least in the third and the fourth. Pulled it, tied on, and he went from 12 with that group in there, and then with the group with no point guard until you brought in Ryan Rollins. But yeah, Bobby Portis. At one point in time, I think I tweeted out Ryan, Bobby, and Cole were like, and it was only Rollins that hit a couple shots. They were like 3 of 21. It was something nasty. But Bobby does salvage his night. He was 4-14. Cole Anthony was 0 for 7. So between those two, Bobby Portis and Cole Anthony combined 4 of 21 tonight. Can't win with it. It wasn't enough. Bucks lose tonight 106-103. We'll talk about all of it. But that's what I saw. Justin, what'd you see?
All right, man. So I'm going to get to Doc real quick, but I tweeted out we should be in a good place at the end of this basketball game if we make some of the shots and we get better shot selection. And that was a key thing in the first half. And I was referring to Bobby's shot selection a little bit, Gary Trent Jr.'s, and Ryan Rollins. Rollins improved it a lot. Let me skip around these post-game notes a little bit. Let's start out with the Cole Anthony comment because I think that's the hot topic to discuss right now.
You got the old school phone blowing up.
Yeah. Hold on. I got
on the bat phone. You good?
Yeah, I hope so. I might step away in a second, but let me get to this Cole Anthony stuff real quick. So Doc says Cole is struggling. We have to help him. Bad turnovers, bad shots, feels that he gets too downhill, which leads to even worse shots. And he's downhill by himself with no one there to help him or anything like that. Let's go back up to what his original quote was, though. He loved the ball movement. He felt at the end of the game, if we kept the ball moving a little bit more, he wasn't upset with the Miles Turner three, but had he made another one, had we made a couple more passes, we get an even better shot. I thought, this is me talking for a second, I thought Gary Trent Jr. was going to knock that shot down off that offensive rebound. Ryan Rollins, hell of a basketball play to even get us in that position. Love the effort tonight. Thought the defense was great. This is the best defense we played since GA has went down with injury. Ball stuck at times, and I think that's when we were talking about the shot selection in the first half, and that's why we saw some of those bad shots. And when the ball sticks, we're in trouble. The Miami Heat could not beat our perimeter defense tonight, but Hero just made quite a few tough shots. Here's where I love the Doc comment. Hero got tons of calls away from the ball that were soft. Then Miles and Bobby were down low, getting murdered. There's no whistle. We got to address the whistle of the NBA at some point tonight. We have to address this. They had a chance to win without KPJ and Giannis. That's a ton of offense to miss from this team, and it's a good effort. He posted Miles because of the switching that the Miami Heat did, and he told Miles and Bobby to punish him. Thought Miles did a much better job punishing him, and that's what I'm talking about, that shot selection from Bobby in the first half. I don't need you shooting all those perimeter, and we know you can hit them when you're hot, and that's cool, but when you got Tyler Hero on you, that should be drop step, mouse in the house, let's go. We talked about Cole already. Ryan Rollins, hell of a ball game. To see him come back, bad shot selection in that first half. Second half, I believe the guys on the radio said he was 7-10 from the three-point line or something like that. Great second half from Ryan Rollins, and that's what shows me that he's a dog and he's a player. Giannis was never going to play tonight. He wanted to play. Doc gave it a shot, but he wanted the medical team and stuff like that to say that he was not going to get that shot. Trey, you carry on. I'm going to be in the background 1 second. I got to take something. I'll be right back, brother.
All right, you all good. Handle your business. Let's go to super chat here from Steeler Face 21. He says, getting tired of talking about silver linings, guys. This team is ass. You know this won't be the only extended Giannis absence this year, and we won't win another game without him. We might not make play. Steeler Face, I disagree. Tonight was different. I'll read you a tweet from Frank Madden tonight. He says, this is the Bucks' best defensive performance of the year. Still, again, another loss. 8-11, worst start since 2015, 2016. But this was, I agree with him, the best defensive performance of the year. Steeler, I get it, no Giannis, and we said it before, this will play. And I think this is different than the silver linings that you're talking about, because in those games before, the other 5 or 6, whatever games were without Giannis, there really weren't silver linings, and or at least they were few and far between. Tonight was different. Tonight, like those other games, you didn't have a chance of winning. Tonight was a very winnable game. Outside of a couple of guys, tonight was a very, very, very winnable game. And I thought the Bucks played. I don't think in those other games you might have said, oh, well, Ryan Rollins played well, or this person played well, or this aspect of the game was well. Remember, one of the questions we asked Steeler Face on this program a couple shows ago, maybe his last show, was, what does this team do anything well as a unit? Tonight you could point to multiple things they did well as a unit. Defensively, they played well as an entire unit. They played very well. Shot selection was well. There was an actual offense that was being run tonight. There was activity that the Bucks were looking to make. You just mentioned it, Justin. The Doc Rivers talked about punishing when you put a small on Miles Turner. That was an action they went to over and over and over, trying to get to it. They missed a lot of shots that were, the process offensively tonight was good. They missed it. They should have been up 10 at halftime. They should have been, despite Cole Anthony running around doing whatever the hell he did, running around no corners, despite Cole Anthony playing like that, they should have been up 10 at halftime. They just shot poorly. It's a make-or-miss league. They did not shoot the ball well. If Ryan Rollins had the second half, he had the first half, and again, you can't, not going to put up 40, 50, whatever. But if Ryan Rollins had closer to the second half than he had in the first half, they're up. Ryan Rollins had a very bad first half. And you were in that ball game because of your defense, because you attacked the glass, because you look at one thing we're not going to talk about tonight. We're not going to talk about how we got killed on the glass. We're not going to talk about how we lost the game because we couldn't get a defensive rebound, because we couldn't finish out of possession. It happened a couple times, but I thought, again, defensive rebound, I thought it was good. And again, shout out Kyle Kuzma. Shout out Miles Turner with 8 boards. You know, he's liable to finish the game with two rebounds. So he went up. I thought he played much stronger tonight. And again, maybe being a more focal point in offense got other parts of his game going. But I was impressed tonight. I really was. NYC Rain, another super chat, says Doc is just bad. No timeout at the end of the game. Dude is allergic to calling plays. I disagree with that one. I thought he called stuff tonight. I'm tired of his ass. The real problem, Cole Anthony's trash. Mark Sears or Dennis Smith over him can't be worse.
Let me address that first part.
Go ahead.
As far as, because he talked about that in the postgame. Okay. No, my bad.
Yeah, what did he say?
He talked about he didn't call timeout at the end of the game because he felt like the Miami Heat were on their heels, and he thought that'd be giving them the best opportunity to get a good shot. And I mean, we got a pretty 90% wide open Miles Turner 3. He just
could have called a foul there too. Could have called a foul there too.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I thought that I get where you're going with that. I probably would have called a timeout. But I somewhat understand it with this group not doing it, simply because I don't trust them to execute. I really don't. Like, I think if Giannis is on the floor, you call a timeout because you have an opportunity to either put him into an action or to use him as a decoy and really kind of, even though we were down 3, so I don't know how much of a decoy it would have been when you need a 3. But when Giannis is on the floor, there's more attention that goes towards him. So I get maybe wanting to call a timeout and setting something up. But with the group of guys you had on the floor, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I need to see that last play again. I believe Gary Trent was in the corner open, and Miles Turner probably could have made one more pass. But
I think that's what Doc was talking about with one more move of the ball. Okay, and we had a wide open shot.
There was an opportunity. But I'm not mad at that. I mean, Miles, I'd rather you take a shot versus time's running down. I'd rather you take that shot. He had a good game. I was okay with it. Honestly, was. I get NYC saying you can get AJ Green involved in a play. I agree with that. You have that opportunity for him there. But I was not upset with it. I really wasn't. I thought the pace was good. But again, I will agree. I probably would have called a timeout. But I was not mad that Doc didn't. And again, you make that extra pass, Gary Trent hits that shot. We're not saying anything about a timeout. So, but that is noted that you didn't take one. Let's talk though for a second. Bucks do lose in the NBA Cup. I'm not sure what that meant for the cup wise and seeding. I know now we should be. I'm guessing we're tied with Miami.
We're done.
We're done.
I mean, we need more things to happen than the Wisconsin Badgers need to make a bowl game.
Oh, really? With one loss, any more stuff happen?
Because Miami has a plus. They have the win-loss head-to-head with us. They're done. They're 3-1. And they also have the point differential. So the only thing we can potentially do is get a wild card, and that's going to be an if come maybe to get that one, in my opinion.
Got it. Okay. So if we're is Miami going to win the group? Correct. Even if we beat New York Friday, Miami,
because they have the
head-to-head tiebreaker. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so Miami has head-to-head tiebreaker. They're gonna win it, and then I don't know. So do you know what the scenarios are for if we were to win? And again, give me what Doc said again on Giannis coming back.
He said that he was pushing for it tremendously. However, the medical team and he did not feel comfortable with Giannis playing. And, of course, Giannis would have went out there. So I thought it was a good chance for you to see Giannis tonight. But, we got to – as much as Giannis values the NBA Cup, as much as I might be the only one of the four of us that value it, we can't bring him back and risk the rest of the season for it.
No, and I'll tell you what, too. If the NBA Cup is dead, if getting that spot is dead, he does not need to play on Friday either. The game to come back is Saturday against the Nets and get a win. Forget that cup game on. It's over. If it's over, it's over. If it's a long shot, it's over. If you're ready to come back on Saturday. Let's get a dub against the Nets. And I believe Monday is the Wizards. You can get yourself back going on a 2-game streak here. Let's not do it.
So what we need the Cavaliers to lose. Sorry.
Yeah.
We got to beat the Knicks because we're 7th. And then we need to beat the Knicks. Right now, we're 11 points behind Detroit in the plus win marginal. So we have to beat them and cover those points from Detroit if Detroit doesn't lose Friday.
Okay. Yeah.
So
it's
a challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I want to address this second, but I see a lot of comments talking about Doc Rivers. I do want to ask you guys this in the chat. And I hear a lot of Doc Rivers this, Doc Rivers that, and I've seen people saying about fire Doc Rivers. Okay, you're missing, and again, understood that Ryan Rollins has maybe ascended to being but I don't know if Miles Turner, because he's your second best player. I don't know. But Ryan Rollins, let's say today, through the season, is your second best creator, okay? He's your second best creator on the floor outside of Giannis. You guys in the chat who want to fire Doc Rivers and Doc's the worst and everything, I get it. How are you expecting him to, again, and I'm not saying Ryan Rollins is not, he's played very well. But if Ryan Rollins is your second best player offensively, and Giannis is now out, but let's double this. Coming into the season, you would have thought your two best, and I'm excluding Miles Turner, your two best creators would have been Giannis and probably KPJ coming into the season. So I understand, Ryan. I know you got to preface everything because well, you did it. So understood that through the 15 games, however many games, 20 games Bucks have played, Ryan Rollins has taken a large leap forward. But Ryan Rollins is now your second best creator if you want to go there. And now without KPJ, who coming into the season was going to be your second best creator, and Giannis, who was also out, your best offensive playmaker is Ryan Rollins. How many games are you expecting to win? How are you expecting to beat teams all over the NBA without your best players? When we knew, and again, so all this to me, this is why I don't got a lot of stuff for Doc and all that. All this stuff for me, and I'll tell you why, Daniel Joseph, in a second. But all this stuff for me, again, if you've been watching us on this program, we told you that was in the preseason. Justin, first thing I said was, forget Doc. I don't care who Doc Rivers, Mike Malone, Eric Spoelstra. By the way, if Doc Rivers had challenged had made a stupid ass challenge like Spo did in the game, y'all would have been all over him for that. All over him for that. Because that was a terrible challenge for Spo, by the way. It didn't make any sense at all. Brain dead. But we said in the preseason, how are they going to win games without Giannis on the floor? This was already known. This was already known. So I'm just saying, and again, I get it. I've never been no Doc Rivers proponent, but I'm just trying to figure out how you expect it to win a bunch of these games without Giannis on the floor, which is something we knew was going to happen when the season started.
I mean, 100% agree with everything that you said. That you said about Doc. There's no coach in the NBA from, you go Red Auerbach, you go Phil Jackson, you go to the archives, that you take Shaq and Kobe off the Lakers. How many teams is that game winning? How many games is that team winning? Lord have mercy. You're taking arguably your two best players off the team. And oh, by the way, because I saw Daniel said that he doesn't want him anywhere near Ryan Rollins. Part of the development that you see from Ryan Rollins is due to Doc, right? Along with bringing Rajon Rondo on his coaching staff. And then on top of that, you've had guys underperform you've had Miles Turner not find his offensive stroke. You've had Bobby struggle. You've had Gary Trent Jr. struggle. You've had AJ Green struggle. At some point, you got to put the ball in the basket. No, there's no coach in the NBA that would coach this team to wins without the best player on the floor. It's just a fact. And then we come in the chat when Doc actually had his best coaching performance of the year. I agree.
I thought that like tonight is not the game to talk about. I thought everything. The only thing you could argue is Cole Anthony played, and again he played 11 minutes. Yeah. I don't know how. I mean, again, I don't know what the only alternative is. You play Sears or you play without a point guard. And you saw they chose in the fourth quarter at a certain point to just play without a point guard for 2 or 3 minutes. And it wasn't like, I mean, what'd you want Ron Rivers to play, 45? I mean, maybe. Now, if we had Nick Nurse, Maxey played 40, 50 minutes. Maxey would have played 48. But that's not what the Bucks are doing right now. But I agree. I thought tonight Doc Rivers was good. Here's my challenge to Doc Rivers. Keep this up through the year. You can't now go back when Giannis comes back. You cannot go back to Miles stands outside the three-point line all game long. If they switch a small onto him, dump it down. I thought they did. Honestly, I thought the Bucks did a tremendous job. NYC Randy Super Chat, he says, no, fire him because he's 74-65 at the Bucks. That's what Giannis and Dame as well. Doc's just not good been saying this. Are you going to talk about Zach LaVine? We can talk about Zach LaVine, but let's talk about firing Doc Rivers, since that's what they wanted to talk about. Let's stop there. And tonight, again, one of those nights where we're in here, and maybe I'll pay a little more attention to the chat tonight, and we can break down and address. It's just us two here. We can just address some of this because we won't have as many takes to get to. But let's take that. Fire Doc Rivers. Here's why I wouldn't do that. I'll go back to Justin. It's crazy. I hate to talk about when we're correct. I feel like we're correct on here more often than we're wrong. And not only do I feel like that, I feel like when we're correct, you have to play out the long game. It's not just because remember, we talked about the Kuzma trade, and every night, everybody came in here every single night and talked about how dumb I was, how stupid I was, and how, you hate Christmas, blah, 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 blah. And you play it out.
Still talking?
It's much less than it was. Because, again, as I tried to tell you guys, not only was it a good move because Middleton is washed, even though he had a good game the other night, even though he's washed, he can't move. Not only that, but Kyle Kuzma this year, much improved. It ain't like he's the greatest in the world, but much improved from what so again, no, we don't hear all that as much. But you gotta let these things play out. But going back to Doc Rivers, I'll give you why firing Doc Rivers is not a good idea. Because what do we say when everybody wanted to fire Adrian Griffin? We said, slow down, I wouldn't do that. You already hired the guy. Let's wait a second. Doesn't make sense to do it. We probably should not do that. We should if you're gonna fire him, let's let him at least go through the season, through the playoffs, and let's see what happens. And if you lose, you lose, and you can fire him then, and then you can run an actual head coaching search. But instead, you get too fast, and all these different variables can happen. And that was the question we said was, okay, what are you going to do? You're going to fire Adrian Griffin. Where are you going to go? And you can cry all day long here about, well, they shouldn't have hired Doc Rivers. But that's what they did. They made a rash decision, didn't think it through, and you ended up with Doc Rivers. That's who you ended up with. So again, I could have predicted this because we said slow down. Again, Justin, I'll say it again. I said it before when we talked about Adrian Griffin. When you fire a coach in the middle of a season, and I know everybody will run back to, Ty Lue, there's a reason every single time you go to Ty Lue when they fired David Blatt in Cleveland. There's a reason you go to that because that's the only real example you can give me. Because if you do that, I can give you 50 more examples of firing a coach in the middle of the season doesn't work. So yes, there's always an exception to the rule, but firing Doc Rivers in the middle of a year is what all is punting your season. And it also shows me that your organization is unstable. It also shows me that you're panicking. It also shows me you really don't have a plan. So I'm not saying Doc Rivers is the answer. I'm not saying, but again, he wasn't the answer when you hired him. You've got to see this through. Ain't that a poem?
Sound prolific to me. Hey, so we got to look at things in the totality of what it is, right? So when we fired Dr. Griffin with a winning mark, and I think someone in the chat mentioned it, that there was some off the court stuff going on and stuff like that. Potentially.
Can I make one point? I'm sorry to cut you off because I'm gonna lose because NYC then said I think Mike Malone would have a great offense. Just saying, this is the only point I'm gonna make. This is what the smart people on Twitter and on all the nerds and analytics. I'm not saying NYC, but I'm saying this is what the nerds told me about Adrian Griffin. What they said was anybody can do a better job than Adrian. He was 31-13. You bring in anybody, it'll work. Give me an actual head coach. Anybody can do it. And you got Doc Rivers. And what's the record you just brought up, NYC? 74-65. You were 31-13 with Adrian Griffin. You're 74-65. Anybody can't just do it. And I'm not disagreeing. Maybe Mike Malone could be better. He certainly could be. I want to run an actual coaching search. What we can't do, we cannot afford to do. And I'll say one more thing about Mike Malone. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. One more thing about Mike Malone. Why the hell would he want to come to Milwaukee when you got rumors your best player is going to leave? And let me tell you, he not signed a contract for half a year. Mike Malone's going to say, hold up, you want me? I need 3, 4, 5. That's what Doc Rivers did. I need 3, 4, 5, because you're not about to hang me out to dry when Giannis leaves and then cut your hands and you don't want a high-quality head coach anymore that's won a championship. So again, it's not an attractive job if Giannis isn't here. But 2, to make it attractive, you're going to have to pay top dollar multiple years to keep you on because there's a very real risk that Giannis leaves. And unless Mike Malone wants to be a part of a rebuild, which I doubt he does, he's going to make you pay him for that too. Sorry, I just want to make that clear when you just say, well, Mike Malone, just insert him in. If you insert him in, you're inserting him in for 3, 4, 5 years. And oh, by the way, you're now paying multiple. So again, sorry, but go ahead, Justin. Sorry.
So Dr. Griffin was let go because of allegedly some of the star players and some of the other players on his team complaining to Horst and complaining to whatever owner was in charge at the time. So I think we need to look at things in the totality of what it is. Has Doc Rivers done a good job as a Bucks coach? I can't say that he hasn't. Here's why I say that. First of all, he came into a situation of toxicity. Dame and Giannis and all these guys were in an uproar, allegedly, from what's going on. Oh, by the way, first year, Giannis blows out or injures his calf and can't come back to play in the playoffs. Then you fast forward to the next year, Dame was out of shape. The first year, Dame was out of shape, and he somehow got this team to get to the playoffs and play decent with no Giannis. Next year, Dame blows out his Achilles. He hasn't had a complete basketball team here. He's done. If you show me another coach that could come in here and that could do that with that amount of obscurity going around, hey, by all means, hire him. And then on top of that, if you fire this man in the middle of the year, like you mentioned, Trey, Mike Malone's not coming here to coach for half a season. But not only that, from every report that you read from every insider from the Bucks, Giannis is tied to Doc Rivers right now. So you give more reason for Giannis to request a trade. And we know there's a good amount of you in this chat. Once Giannis leaves, you're going to leave and go find a new bandwagon too. Because that's why y'all sit here and bitch and moan about half the stuff y'all do. Because y'all really not Bucks fans. Y'all just bandwagoners that just happen to be here for the moment. But for you true Bucks fans that are here for the right reasons and have been here through the 12 and 70? Is that what it was? 13 and 69, whatever it was.
Like 15. I think it's 15. I think it won 15 games.
If you've been here since the Bradley Center, you understand the totality of it. Now, can Doc be better? Absolutely.
100%.
I'm not giving him a pass saying he's a perfect coach, but he's making chicken salad out of chicken shit right now.
Listen, and to the people in the chat, again, and I think appreciate Dustin Wagner says nobody's making excuses for Doc Rivers. We're pointing out how freaking stupid it is to not have your shoes ready. If you move on, all of you just want just crying to cry. NYC Rain says, "No, Trey never wanted Doc in the first place." Agree? Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And again, for that, you do have to be either a fan of the show, or you've had to watch the show over the course of the last 3 seasons to know. Yeah, no, I never once were we out here begging for Doc Rivers. Nobody was. Now we weren't. I wasn't begging for Adrian Griffin. But once you're here, I'm like we always talk about. Once you're here, I'm rooting for your success. Once you're here, we have to make smart decisions. And I'm not saying 100%. I'm with you guys. You want to fire Doc Rivers? I'm not fighting you on that. I'm telling you the timing doesn't make sense. Objectively, it does not make sense. It doesn't make any sense to make a move. You don't have. That's somebody. Because let's think first. Well, Mike Malone. Then somebody else says, well, just put Rondo in charge. What? Rondo? Like what is again? Rondo might end up being a good coach. I have no clue. I like Rajon Rondo. I don't know if he's ready to be a head coach. I don't know if he's ready for that. I don't know. And so again, 2 red violin. No, I don't think Justin or neither one of us are making excuses for Doc Rivers. What we're saying is, no, 74-64 or whatever it is, and it's not going well. He's not. The offense look rough at times. Defenses look rough at times. He continues to have problems that kind of. He has problems that seem to come out of nowhere. When you fix one thing and another thing starts to leak. That's kind of all of a sudden we can't rebound defensively. We get younger. What we talk about? Getting younger, more athletic. And boom, we're still in the same problems we're getting beat up and down the floor, and we can't rebound. You'd think you'd be able to do some of that with some of the guys that we have, and we're still not able to do it. Defensively, you'd think, okay, we swapped out Damian Lillard, we swapped out Brook Lopez. Defense still having some issues. So again, we agree on that piece. But I guess what I'm saying is I have a hard time judging Doc Rivers through this stretch. Like there are problems with Doc Rivers, but it ain't and you want to fire Doc Rivers, but it ain't because of this stretch without Giannis, without KPJ. Good point here. The 11 King says John Horst is equally responsible. Well, again, it's all about the depth of your argument and the depth of what we're talking about. This is something we talked about, Justin. John Horst, what he tried to do with this roster was build it around Giannis so that it could compete in different ways with Giannis's play style. Remember what we tried to do? We tried to put, let's get Damian Lillard, and they'll just coexist, and it didn't work. So now you're trying to build a roster, maybe not another superstar in it, but you have pieces that work that you may think work a little better around Giannis. Including Miles Turner, you got to figure out how to use them. But again, without Giannis, and again, this is another thing, Justin. It's crazy the stuff we talk about, and then 20 games later, it has come true. What do we say? Without this roster's not gonna be able to compete without Giannis, but it's built to play with Giannis. Again, I have a hard time crying about the Doc Rivers. I have a hard time crying about Doc Rivers when he's without Giannis and without KPJ, when the entire team is built around Giannis. And again, I think John Horst, you had to have known some of that when you built the team, that if Giannis misses time, it's going to be a problem.
Like, ladies and gentlemen, we're not playing for the NBA Cup is very important to Giannis. Any type of trophy you put in front of me, I want to go out and get it. I don't care what it is. But the thing that we got to remember is that this team is built for the playoffs. And building that team around Giannis was not only just to build it around Giannis so it flourishes there, but also to keep Giannis in Milwaukee. And had Giannis had hightailed it to New York City, to Golden State, to Houston, then I think you'd have all right to give all the visceral that John Horst is receiving, that Doc Rivers is receiving or whatever. But I think we got to be a little bit patient. And remember, we're in a marathon right now. This isn't a sprint. The last time the Bucks fired a coach mid-season was Jason Kidd before Dr. Griffin. And Coach Prunty he did what he could do, but we saw how that flamed out too. So I think we all just need to kind of just take a deep breath, let Doc, and look, every NBA fan base right now, with the exception of the Oklahoma City Thunder, criticizes their coach right now. There's gaps and there's holes and everything. You don't think those folks in New York are criticizing Mike Brown? You don't, maybe not Charlotte, because Charlotte really, everyone's always hurt. But I guarantee you out there in Golden State, those people are probably on Steve Kerr's behind right now. Look around the league. So I don't think bringing someone else in here is necessarily going to change anything. NYC, Randy, we're playing for the championship as always when you have the greatest man on the planet on your basketball team. Nothing less. Always.
Yeah. Let me see. Two red violences. People also said J.J. Redick didn't have a coaching experience and wasn't ready to coach. Doc has almost 30 years experience. He sucks. Give a chance to a high IQ former player. Let me tell you something about J.J. Redick. Didn't, and again, another guy they ran out of town in L.A. They ran Darvin Ham out of town. Let me tell you something. Lakers ain't win no championship this year. I'm going to tell you that right now. Lakers ain't win no championship this year. They ran Darvin Ham out of L.A., and Darvin Ham went further in year one than J.J. Redick. Darvin Ham in year one of him coaching the Lakers, Darvin Ham went to the Western Conference Finals.
Yep.
J.J. Redick ain't going to no damn Western Conference Finals.
He was eliminated.
J.J. Redick got gifted. Luka Doncic in his first year and didn't do nothing. So don't please miss me with the J. A lot of, again, high IQ, all that kind of stuff. Watch where they end up. With all that IQ he got, watch where the hell they end up. I guarantee you, they ain't sniffing no title this year. I promise you that.
And I think we got to say it one time. If you're talking about blowing up the basketball team and we're not even at December 1st, chill out a little bit. It's a long season.
Sorry.
No, I'm saying if you don't think Giannis can will this team to the Eastern Conference Finals, to the finals, then I really think you're underestimating how great this dude is. I think that this team is better than the championship team, the finals team that LeBron took to the finals when he had Damian Jones and stuff like that. So if you can get that team to the finals in a wide open East, I don't get why Giannis can't get this team there too. Once we're fully healthy, once this guy, oh, by the way, we need to talk about that too. Because once we switched it up from Kuz to Turner back there, he started playing better. So maybe we just need to put the whole damn team's jersey up behind me, right?
Hey, I'm with it, man. I'm with it. Like I said, fellas, and everybody in the chat. Tonight, I was encouraged tonight. Tonight, I was encouraged. You're seeing some things that were good. And again, a lot of the games without Giannis have not been encouraging. But tonight I was encouraged. And guess what? After you eat all of your turkey and your chicken and your collards and your yams and your macaroni and all of that, and depending on where you're at, potatoes with the raisins in it. If you after all of that on Friday night, I'm gonna give you another gut punch. You're probably gonna lose to the New York Knicks. You probably will. It's okay. It is so early in the season, man. It is so early. We ain't even made the Thanksgiving yet. Remember the Pacers. Somebody here as most of the Pacers fan. Didn't y'all just get y'all ass whooped by Brandon Ingram tonight? The Pacers, whoever the Pacers fan was in, didn't Brandon Ingram just cook y'all ass? Well, we just want to pick. All right, make sure y'all start.
Did Glorilla watch it with him?
Go pick. Yeah, right. Yeah. Shit, hell, Dame should have got with Glorilla. He might have played better. Brandon Ingram cooking right now. I agree on trades, but again, we're going to have to wait. It's probably going to have to be there's a lot of guys who are trade eligible after December 15th, including, I think, Bobby Portis. So we're going to have to wait on some trades. I don't think you'll see any trades until after Christmas. They're going to give this roster a chance with KPJ back, with Giannis back. And again, championship, I'm not even pressed on that. I want to get out the first round, and I want to see what it looks like. I want to get out of the first round. Y'all talking about championship. Let me get out of the first round, and let's see what happens, man. I do think this roster, like you said, it's good enough to do some damage out in the East, man. It really is, in a wide open East. I do believe in what the Bucks have going. And I like us, man. I really do. I really do. And I thought tonight was a good step. You saw some things offensively that you had to build on. And then you also, again, less and less. Cole Anthony might end up not playing at all. When KPJ comes back, I think that's on the table. I think you may want another creator in here at some point, trade-wise. Again, it's just going to be tough because you got to get Kuz out of here probably. I know they want to keep him, but again, you got to use that salary. We'll see how it ends up. But again, I don't know that trades are on the table right now. I know there's some rumors with your boy Zach LaVine. They talked about some rumors. Hope maybe Keon Ellis will be in that as well. But the Bucks, John Horst is going to be all over the market. But tonight, man, it just wasn't enough. But I do come away encouraged. Let's talk for a second and go back to let's talk about tonight. Bobby Portis, and really want to get to Cole Anthony. What are you seeing from him that again, because at this point I've totally given up. What is the problem with Cole Anthony? Why is it not working? Is it just him thinking Doc put him in a better situation, or is it just you got to play better and he's just not?
I think it's a lot more that you got to play better. He's just not right now. He's a much better basketball player than that. We saw 2 games of good basketball, and the rest has been kind of lackluster, to say the least. And the biggest thing, right, is when we start that fourth quarter, I think we're down 4 points, and he just has a dribbling turnover at half court that leads to a wide open layup. Those are the back-breaking type plays that you just can't have. I think Cole Anthony is a good basketball player, though, and he showed potential at times, but I really wish I could say it's hero ball, but he was struggling before Giannis got hurt. So I don't know what it is. Maybe he needs to do a lot of what Gary Trent Jr. was doing last year. Maybe Gary needs to pick that up as well. Remember after the games, they said Gary was going to the arena, he was shooting. And he wouldn't stop shooting until he found whatever his groove was. And maybe we need a little bit of that. Cole has to be better in order for this team to be better, though, especially what we're facing right now. And even when KPJ comes back for those few games, because he's not going to be 100%.
He's not. He's not. But I just don't know what else is left for Cole Anthony. I would, because that's the thing. I would say, well, the first thing, it'd be one thing if the only problem with Cole Anthony was shots off, and because at first I was gonna come down and say, hey, well, he should be a guy who should be looking for other guys he should be looking to create for other guys versus trying to score on his own. But he really can't do that with the turnovers that he has. I just don't. Mm-hmm. I'm having a hard time seeing it. It's not like he's a great defender. There's spot nights. And again, he's only had 2 so far out of the 15, 20 games we played. He's had 2 so far. Well, Richard C., Giannis couldn't get us past first round last 3 years. Has he been healthy the past 3 years? The only year he was healthy was last year. And last year he played without $50 million on his roster, who was out. So, hold on. Not only did he play without $50 million on his roster was out, he lost to a team that came within potentially an Achilles tear of being the NBA champions, who was the only 2 teams who took OKC to 7 games. So again, that's what you look when you talk about. That was the year the only year Giannis has been healthy in the last 3. He lost to the team and was within a game to go to game 6. You never know what's going to happen. If they were going to go to game 6, but Gary Trent decided to let Indiana advance on his own, but they had that game wrapped up. They were within. That's who they lost to. The team that went to 7 with OKC, who's dragging everybody. OKC's won 13 straight games, whatever it is.
Come on, won tonight against Minnesota.
Come on now.
How many games Giannis been down?
This would be. I'm not sure. Giannis has played.
Hold on, I got you. All right, so let's look at this just for one quick second, because I know it's like I'm delusional because I think that Giannis will help push his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. So, do you think we beat the Miami Heat tonight with Giannis on the floor?
Oh, there's no question tonight's a win.
We lost to the Portland Trailblazers 115-103.
No question you beat the Trailblazers with Giannis on the floor.
We lost to the Detroit Pistons 129-116. Do you think we could get them?
Oh, potentially. I don't know the way we played would have got them, but you could definitely have definitely got Detroit with him.
And then the overtime game against the 76ers, do you think we get them there?
100% you beating the Sixers with Giannis there.
And before Giannis went down in that Cavaliers game, I think we get them as well.
Yeah, so maybe the only one that was the Detroit game that maybe I would have said you don't win.
And we're 8-11 right now.
So how many is that? 3, 4?
Yeah, and that flips the entire season and flips the roster. So this is why I keep saying that we gotta calm down a little bit, man. Like, you gotta remember, if you don't think this dude is the best player in the NBA, he's gotta be top 3. And if you take Joker off of the Nuggets and then you take Jamal Murray off the Nuggets, they're in the same boat as us. You take your best player and arguably your second best, and I know it's arguably, I think Miles Turner gets a lot better when Giannis and KPJ come back. And then you judge this team in totality. But, like, to say that we can't do this and we can't do that, who was the best player? Who on that Indiana team from last year was better than Giannis?
Nobody.
And those guys went to the finals.
Right.
Oh, and their best defensive cog, he's on our team now.
Correct.
So just chill for a second. Like, and I get it, Miles doesn't look good at times. These guys are learning a new system. But we can't, we're not going to lie to you and tell you that the defense has been spot on and perfect. The zone is atrocious. And you cannot rebound the basketball in that zone. And you even saw it tonight. We switched to the zone, and what happened? Bam, smart basketball player, free throw line jumper. We got to figure something out, but it'll come. I truthfully believe it will come.
Yeah, no, I agree. 100% it will. Steelers talking about, there's no way Giannis eligible for regular season awards. No, I think he could be. It just depends. Again, he's going to miss in this stretch, 5, 6 games, whatever it is. He's missed one. If he does not have another 1 to 2 week injury, no, I think he'll be fine because, you just missed the occasional back-to-back. He missed a game here. He missed a game here. I think he'll be fine. I think he will, as long as he doesn't have another extended injury that keeps him out for a period. I think he will make that minimum games requirement. Dustin Wagner says, what this Giannis shows is that we absolutely need to add one more guy who can get 18 a night, and we can really use a Mike Conley vet. Yes, over a Cole Anthony. Yes, you can use Mike Conley for sure. But I'm not big on Mike Conley either at this stage of his career. Richard C says, sadly, the Bucks aren't going anywhere, but the worst part is they won't trade Giannis for a haul and will stay mediocre at best till he's done playing ball. I hate this kind of comments. Trade him for a haul. This is again, if he wants to, if he indicates he wants to leave, 100% trade him. Until that point, I hate this kind of stuff because you say trade him for a haul so that you can do what? Try to find another top 3 player in the world. Let me trade a top 3 player in the world because it's not better than Joker. So somebody said, fine. Let's trade a top 3 player in the world so that we can get a haul to try to find a top 3 player in the world. It's the stupidest logic I've ever seen. It doesn't make any sense to me. It never makes sense to me. And then I go back to let's look at all the Bucks teams you've seen in history. You talk about mediocre? You talk about mediocre? Let go of one of your best players. Let go of your best player in franchise history. Let go of a top 3 player in the NBA right now. I'll show you mediocre. Like people think a haul and a bunch of picks just guarantees you something. It does if you're OKC and you end up with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah, that'll work. But again, you found a top 3 player in the world.
That's another reason to someone said in the chat earlier why Doc's a bad coach because he traded SGA too, which is just
But I mean, I guess that's what I'm saying. Just trading guys and getting somebody back doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get anything with some type of haul. Didn't Utah get a decent haul for Rudy Gobert?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what they looking like? What they doing? Utah's I've never seen a team that perpetually. I'll trade Donovan Mitchell, get a haul. I'll trade Rudy Gobert, get a haul, and you still working to try to do. I don't know what their plan is out there. They'll trade Larry Marketing for a haul, and they just we trading for hauls. I mean, it must be the greatest job in the world as a coach and a GM for them to tell you, hey, all you got to do, you can be bad. Just make sure we have a chance of being good in the future. That's their whole MO in Utah is we want to have a chance to be good in the future. So keep trading guys for hauls. It doesn't make didn't hell. Philly, look what Philly did. Philly sat in tank forever and tried to and got a guy who ended up being one of the great. Still didn't work because he stayed hurt all the time. This stuff is not a guarantee. This stuff's not a guarantee.
Look what Denver did before Joker got there in a Carmelo trade. And they were terrible until Joker got there. I think NYC, we got a super chat, so I'll be real quick. NYC, Randy, you're missing it, all you Denver fan, all you folks speaking that Denver without Joker would be well. I didn't say just without Joker. I said Joker and Jamal Murray.
Top two. We're missing two guys. Don't forget. And again, no, KPJ is not a Jamal Murray, but to us, he is our Jamal Murray.
Facts.
You call Ryan Rollins, I get it. But he is. William Arrange, a super chat. He says, what do you think about swapping Victor Oladipo from the Herd and Cole Anthony? Hell no. Well, you know what? For Cole Anthony, man, I'd rather cut Cole. Because here's the thing. He's not on a two-way. You can't swap him. Mm-hmm. I'd rather go get somebody else. If you're going to cut Cole Anthony, cut him, and then go get somebody else and bring him in versus Victor Oladipo. I told people, and I saw he had a couple nice moves. I'm like, Victor Oladipo. You know, he used to cook on the damn Wisconsin Herd. Marjan Beauchamp used to be hell on the Herd. You know who else used to cook on the Herd?
Chris Livingston.
Chris Livingston did used to cook. Tyler Livingston on the Herd. Christian Wood give him hell on the Herd. Christian Wood would give people hell on the Herd. I'm telling you, what you will learn or what you should know about the NBA to the G League. And I don't think people appreciate it as much. The jump from that league to the it's night and day. It is truly night and day. And every now and then you get a couple guys who are really good and they can make an impact and da-da-da. And there are a few guys who can do that. But I'm just telling you, just because you put up numbers, you have some good games to hurt, it really doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't mean anything.
It's the equivalent in MLB of going from AA to the big leagues. That's not AAA. That's not AAA basketball down there. But the Herd do have a lot of guards that are playing good basketball. You got Oladipo playing well. You got Johnny Davis. You got Alex Antetokounmpo. Dennis Smith Jr. is looking all right. But the thing is, I'm not cutting Cole Anthony for them. If we can get some type of amnesty thing for Taurean Prince and get a medical, we'll call it a red shirt for lack of better terms, and we can bring them in that place, I'm cool with it. But look, Cole's going to have an impact and he's going to play better basketball. He's shown spurts of it. We got to find a way to get to his confidence. So, like, this basketball stuff isn't all just bouncing the basketball and putting it in the hole. Sometimes you got to get the mental stuff too.
Let me tell you something. Cole Anthony, if they sent Cole Anthony to the damn G League, he put up 40 a night. That's how much better Cole Anthony is. I promise you. I promise you, Cole would absolutely cook on the G League level. Because the difference is all those turnovers that are like, you know, what's funny. I remember watching a show. You remember what show, Playmakers? Used to come on ESPN, and it was such a great. There's a scene in there where there's the running back and Cameron, and he's aging there trying to bring this new back in for him, and you know he's talking about, and the guy he's sitting with the coach, and he says, "What you mean?" You know, he's talking about the new guy, and the new guy runs a 4.3. You know, let's say he runs a. He's like, man, a new guy runs a 4.4. I think he's like, I run a 4.5. And the coach sits him down and gets the ticker out, the clicker. As he says, you don't know the difference between a 4.5 and a 4.4? And every frame, he boop, and every frame they go to, he said that you're here, he's here. My point is, that's the difference between the G League and the NBA. And those turnovers Cole has, and he can't get his shot up, and he can't. Although it's the difference between that and that. Cole Anthony would absolutely kill them boys on the G League. He absolutely would. There's no question about it. Talking about not playing Maxey again. Maxey's again. I don't disagree with you. I don't know what Maxey would have done at the time Doc Rivers was there. He's turned into this guy, but you know, and we see he has that development now. But I don't know what Maxey was when Doc Rivers was there.
Larry Drew didn't play Giannis a lot either.
Yeah, so you know that right. But, and Giannis wasn't ready to play 30 minutes a night and go all out. I mean, yeah, he wasn't. So that's how it goes. You
got Steph Curry. You got, and I'm not even gonna bring up Ben Simmons, but you got a couple other guys out there that are street free agents. Any interest in any of those guys?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't have any. I definitely don't have any interest in Ben Simmons. crazy thing is, if Ben Simmons was actually, if I had a belief that he was interested in basketball, I would. But I just don't think he is. I don't think he has. I don't think it's in his heart that he could play, that he wants to play basketball. You think about him as a player. I mean, he could in theory help, even though he can't shoot. But if you were to tell me, hey, you can get the best, and not even the best of Ben Simmons ever played, but the best out of what he is right now, I'd be like, yeah. But I don't think it's in his heart to do that. I don't think it's in his heart that he does it. And yeah, no, Seth Curry, no, he doesn't solve anything, which again is why. And I know everybody wants to get rid of Kuz, and I'm telling you, this is the kind of guy, and Kuz didn't even have the greatest night offensively tonight, but 12 rebounds. That was he led the team in rebounds tonight. Like like I'm telling you, 6'9" guys don't grow on trees that can do some of those things. And he has 6 assists too. He made some really great passes. Only thing Kuz could have done better tonight really was a couple shots. I think there was one he tried. He was trying to foul bait. And again, I get it because hell, you look at Tyler Hero throw his hands up and get to the free throw line. So Kuz tried to foul bait once in the fourth. It wasn't good. And then I think
that was a foul.
I think it was. I agree. I think it was a foul. He just didn't get the call. I think there were maybe 1 or 2 shots, but again, I can live with him. I thought he attacked the basket very well. And did some good things. Then, like I said, again, he's just bought into the system. He's rebounding at a high level, and I think his passing is at a high level. You got to control the basketball and make sure you're doing the right things with it. And
he saw him play good defense on Bam Adebayo.
He did.
And look, I think Zach LaVine is a top 5 shot creator in this league right now, maybe top 10, whatever number you want to put him at. But he's not gonna stop. What's the other big name? Marte, is that his name? Big dude for Miami.
Khalil
Bam, and what's that?
Khalil Ware?
Him too. There was a time where Spoelstra had both of those bigs in the game, and Kuz and Miles Turner were switching back and forth on him. You bring in Zach LaVine, and we're talking about the defensive holes that we have and stuff like that. Those holes are gonna get even bigger.
That you are 100% true. I don't think people realize. And again, is Kuz playing up to, what does he make, like $20, $25 million? He's not playing like a $25 million guy, and I get that. But I don't think people realize some of the things that Kuz is doing that are at a high, because again, he does have these things that he doesn't do as well, and it still seems a little awkward. And if Kuz could shoot the 3 ball, there'd be no question he'd be. Yeah, you wouldn't think twice about keeping Kyle Kuzma. But I don't think people realize, like you said, the rebounding and the defensive prowess that he has, where you can put him in a lot of different places, and he's done a really good job defending bigs this year as well. So I think that again, I'm not saying you can't move him. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you're already low on wings, and moving him for like a Zach LaVine without getting a legit wing back is gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough sledding for sure. But again, tonight I thought it was the best defensive effort of the year. Guys were connected. Guys were playing well, and I appreciate the effort all over 100%.
One last thing about LaVine, and shout out to Sparky on the fan. I thought he brought a great point. The basketball slows down in the playoffs. So all the shot creating and stuff like that your Zach LaVines, your DeMar DeRozans do is great. But when you get to that playoffs, you're going to need a guy like Kuz to step up and check your best defensive player. And Sparky, and I ask you this question, Trey. Where has Zach LaVine won at?
Oh yeah, no, he is not a guy who wins where he goes either. I would ask you this: who is the best player Zach LaVine's played with?
DeMar DeRozan, maybe?
Was he on? He wasn't on those Jimmy Butler teams. He wasn't with Jimmy Butler. Well, I guess he was. Was he on?
He was in Minnesota, but
he was
I think he was so much of a baby pup there that didn't really matter. So let me ask you one quick thing. I'm sorry, I'm pressed for time.
Yeah, I know you gotta go in a second.
When I'm watching this Clippers game, I see a guy out there, John Collins. John doesn't shoot the ball as well as Bobby Portis Jr. when Bobby Portis is on. John can't create the offense that he has, but I think he is one of the best backup rebounding swing big guys in the NBA. there's not a lot of mention for this. And I think that's where John Horst comes in. But what about a Bobby for John trade if we had to make a trade? Because we got to have a big that has size that can rebound the basketball coming back, since we struggle with that, in my opinion.
I would love John Collins. I don't know what the numbers are contract-wise. I like John Collins. I've always liked John Collins. He went to Wake Forest. So I've liked John Collins since he came out in the league, when he was in Atlanta, all that. I think the issue with John Collins doesn't shoot the three ball well, so I think there's question spacing wise. But yeah, he does a lot of those things. I agree that you would want to see. And again, can you trade, the outside shooting from Bobby Portis for another guy who maybe clogs up the paint a little bit, who does some of those other things very well? But listen, I would do it and try to find a way to make it work. I have no problem with John Collins, and I like him 100%. I really do like John Collins. I see another one. And I know you got to go, Justin, in a second. You want to give out your game ball real quick, since you got to?
Yeah, let me answer.
And maybe a game ball, maybe a prediction for Packers Lions tomorrow.
I don't want to do that. I see Steeler Face real quick say he'd rather get DeMar, less money. Yeah, he's also 36, though, too, with 2 years left on that deal. So I think we got to keep that in mind. One thing that's undefeated is Father Time. If I had to give out my game ball tonight, I would go Ryan Rollins. I thought the first half was absolutely atrocious. Second half, he showed why he is one of the better basketball players on his team. He showed us why he is an important cog that we have in this team. And I think he's shown us that he's going to be here to fight and contend with Kevin Porter Jr., with Cole Anthony, with Mark Sears, with Zach LaVine, with whoever you want to bring into this team. He's there. So, AKA, this is my spot. You got to come take it from me. AKA, big bucket. AKA, hell of an offensive rebound on your own missed free throw. And that's game-winning plays when the game's on the line. I don't have a prediction for tomorrow. Like, I'm scared. I saw them boys brought back that old washed-up center that they had because they scared of Micah. So I'm going to tell you this. Micah's going to have to go in.
Is he playing tomorrow? He's not playing tomorrow, is he?
He might be.
There's no way they brought Buddy back and he playing tomorrow. That's crazy.
Micah going to have to go out there and take this game over. We got Josh Jacobs coming. Completely different teams. You have Tyler Kraft out for the Green Bay Packers. You have Laporta out for the Detroit Lions. I think both of those guys were instrumental in that first matchup of the teams. It's going to be a tough one, man. I hope all of y'all in the chat enjoy your Thanksgiving. Appreciate all of y'all. Whether your comments are nice or they're not, we love you to death. I hope you and your families have a great Thanksgiving. I know a few of y'all probably eat too much turkey, but we ain't going to go there tonight, Trey. Trey, you and your family, I hope you have a great one. JT, I know you're missing tonight. Hope you have a great one. And my guy, Chris King, I hope you have a great one, man. I hope that those I ain't gonna throw no shots at Dayton. We're gonna wait for him to come back. Keep flying, brother.
All right, appreciate it, Justin. Hopefully, again, happy Thanksgiving to you as well and your family. Man, it's been great. You again for another year for joining us for year two. This is the second year you've been on, right? Yeah, I'm tripping. Why am I thinking this is year? Yeah, 2 years of Justin on this. I mean, I really appreciate all that you've added to this show. So again, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. But jumping back in it here, man, there was another question I was trying. Oh, somebody said, well, they didn't have a guard to get in the ball. I think we do. I think you're talking about John Collins. I think we do have a guy to get in the ball. KPJ can 100% get him the ball. There's no question about it. That he can do that. And again, I just can't wait to see KPJ in action with these guys. Man, you might see Randy saying Trey Murphy or Herb Jones, but I'll take Zach LaVine because he's super nice. Again, I'd love a wing like that. I don't know what the cost is going to be or the price for a Trey Murphy, for Herb Jones. You would think that those guys, in theory, they fit what the Bucks are trying to do. But we'll see. Again, we know John Horst is definitely gonna have his pulse on things and try to make the Bucks better in any way. Let's go to Twitter. Are you out?
I'm out.
All right.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you. Let's go to Twitter. For a second here, I'll make myself a little bigger on the screen. See if I can do this. If I can make this work. Boop, boop. See, I'm producing in the middle of this show, and we'll see. All right, let's do it like that. And then I'll get out of here pretty soon. But we'll run a couple more. Let me know if you have any questions in the chat. We'll try to answer them. We'll get to everything here as we hasten to a close on Thanksgiving Eve. Solo Guru for the last, 10 minutes, 5 minutes or so as I wrap this thing up. Let's see what Twitter had to say. At Sunk345 says, if Spo and Doc switch places on that sideline, Bucks win by at least 15 points tonight. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know that. I thought, listen, dare I say, I thought Doc Rivers, Chris, I'm producer Trey. Yeah, appreciate it. I thought Doc Rivers did a good job. I really did. And that challenge by Spo, we talked about it earlier. That challenge by Spo was horrible. Horrible challenge. Doc Rivers didn't do that. That was, and Spo did it with authority. Didn't work. Terrible challenge by Spo. Lost it. No reason to do it. I thought Doc Rivers had a better game plan tonight. I thought Doc Rivers had a better game plan tonight. And Spo just happened to have the better players on the floor. I honestly thought that tonight. Not saying in totality, but tonight, that's what happened. At Inked Up 615 says, this is the first time I've seen an offense being ran in the Doc era. I know it's the first time, but I would agree, Inked Up 615, that there was offense tonight. There were signs of life, 100%. MK Matt 13 says, shouldn't have come down to the final possession if they hit shots in the middle while the Heat were slumping, but call a damn timeout and drop a final play. Doc, what the hell? We talked a little bit earlier in the show about no timeout. Doc Rivers mentioned that he wouldn't have called a timeout. He said he still wouldn't have called a timeout. He liked what they had, thought they had Miami on their heels. But I agree on the hitting shots in the middle of the game. You would have liked to see the Bucks do a better job of that. Lost it a little bit. Let's see here. At Jean Dursey, she says, too much Cole Anthony. Correct. No question about that. At AZip70 says, just a brutal ending with all the open looks. Can't hit a single shot. Turner played great. Missed 3 free throws. Get Anthony the F off this team and fire Doc after we lose 7 straight on Friday. We talked a little about firing Doc. Not going to do that. I don't think it's a good thing to do. At Ellis is ready. Says Horse needs to wash his hands with Greg Anthony's son when KPJ comes back. Listen, no question about that. I like KPJ. Hopefully when KPJ comes back, you see less and less of Cole Anthony. At Wisconsin HFC says, honestly, didn't appreciate just how much damage Cole Anthony could do in 11 minutes. Lost us the game. What's up with not calling a timeout on the final possession? Not enough winners in this group of players and staff. It's mediocre. I don't know. Rondo's a winner. Doc's been a winner. Giannis has been a winner. Trying to think. Not enough winner. Yeah, outside of that, maybe you can get to Bobby Portis has been a winner. I don't know about that. Let's see. At NYC Rain says, Doc and Cole lost the effing game. Why go home with 2 timeouts? I'm done with Doc. Drop an effing play, please, my God. One more. At Roosters Roost says, too many empty possessions in the last 3 minutes. Miami was daring them to take that game, and they said, no thanks. So again, yeah, I'm not against you. I thought the Bucks played well though tonight. I really did. I really thought they had a good night. Let's see. I'll do my game ball tonight. I obviously got to go with you got to win to get in. You know how I do it. Tyler Hero's gonna get my game ball. 29 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds tonight, 1 steal, 1 block. 9 of 15 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. He was 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Was a +4 tonight. I thought that Hero he played well. He got to the free throw line, did his thing. He's just a really solid player, man. Really solid player. A really good player. I don't know where you rank Hero as far as because when you look at this basketball team, I think Norman Powell's leading them in scoring this year so far. But you look at this basketball, and the Bucks did a good job stopping Norman Powell. He had 11 points tonight. But you look at this basketball team, and the Heat are pretty decent. What's their record? They're 13-6. So they're playing well. You look at them in the standings, and they're 3rd right now in the East. Bucks are starting to fall behind just a little bit, but they're not. But again, Bucks are still 3 games out of 6, 4 games out of 4th. But I think that when you look at the Heat's rosters, there's really not because Tyler Hero's not a star, so they're finding ways to win, and maybe that's the Spo effect. But they have a really good roster. It's a hard-nosed roster. Call Bam Adebayo their best player, 17-11 tonight. But it's a really good hard-nosed roster all up and down. Khalil Ware is good. They got a really good roster. But I don't know where you rank Tyler Hero, who could lead you. Again, he could be a 20, he could be a 25 a night guy. I don't know. I like Hero though, but Tyler Hero with the game ball tonight, aka last name Hero. I was one tonight, aka. Hey, shout out to Milwaukee, aka hometown Hero, aka keep my dad out the women's restrooms. Remember that? His pops was in the women's restroom. Yeah. Mac 2 months is Hero and All-Star. I don't know if he'll be that this year. Maybe he will. I don't know what guys are doing in the East. But yeah, Tyler Hero he was an All-Star last year. He was an All-Star last year. He's been sixth man a year before. So yeah, he's a really good player. I'm when I say star, I mean I mean like literal. I'm trying to get the guys on star levels. Because Dame would be a superstar. I'm trying to think of the difference between your superstars and your stars. Like, I don't know. Jalen Brunson to me is a star. I think he's a star. I don't think Tyler Hill's as good as Jalen Brunson. So I'm thinking star, not superstar. Giannis, Joker, Shea, Luka, superstars. And then you have your stars. And that's where, again, that's the question. Is Tyler Hero really good? Or is he a star? I don't know. I don't know if you call him, I don't know if I'd say he's a star. James Moore says, theoretically, would you give up Ryan Rollins for Tyler Hero? Obviously, the trade would never happen, but I thought it'd be fun to ask. Let me see the age on Tyler Hero. Hero's 25. Ryan Rollins. Let's see how old Ryan Rollins is. What is he, 23, I think? I'm just going to look him up. Ryan Rollins is 23. He'll be 24 in July. Yeah, I'm doing that. 100%. I'm doing Tyler Hero for Ryan Rollins. I get it in theory, money and everything got to work. But if you were talking just one-to-one, would I rather have Tyler Hero or Ryan Rollins? Yeah, there's no question. I'd rather have Tyler Hero at 25. He's already a really good player. Maybe can be a star, especially if you're talking about who can I pair with. If I'm pairing him with Giannis, I'm going Tyler Hero, no question. And we'll see what Ryan Rollins ends up being. I don't know. Again, that's another question. I got questions for you. And you're right. Since he's 25, most guys don't become a star until 27. All right, I'll ask you then. Same thing. Go to Maxey. How old is Maxey, right? Let me see. Tyrese Maxey he's 25. Now, Tyrese Maxey, I think he's closer to a star than Tyler Hero. Both 25 years old. Van Leo, good night. Happy Thanksgiving. Is that Levine trade suggested smart? Bobby Kuzgary, that leaves us so thin. Yeah, I agree. If you trade for this, I say this. If you trade for Levine, you have to do some other things. There's no question. If you trade for Levine, you got to do some other things. No question about it. But yeah, no, I get it, Mac Mine. Yeah, most guys will become a star to you 27. I get it. I'm just saying, like, there's levels. And again, I still don't know what Ryan Rollins' ceiling is. I really don't. I really don't know what his ceiling is. I don't. I think he's a really good. I think he's a good player, right? But he's 23. He's 23, man. Like Ryan Rollins could end. He could end up being. Let me say this: if he has another leap next year, he's taken a big leap. Most improved. He could easily be a most improved guy this year. He's got one more leap. If he could take, if between this summer and next year he takes one more leap, oh my God, you have something serious in Milwaukee. If Ryan Rollins turns out to be dangerous, and then again, I keep questioning: is KPJ, because we talk about Ryan Rollins leap, has KPJ taken another leap? I'd love to see it. But Iron Man says Rollins is starting to look like he's knocking on the door of stardom. I just pumped the brakes on that stuff because Tyler Hero was an all-star. And I get it. But sometimes I feel like we jump the gun on our own players. And we either say they're too good or we say they're too bad. And again, I look at Tyler Hero, and I don't call him a star. He's been an all-star. He's an all-star last year. I don't call him a star. I don't think he's I think he's a very fine, very, very, very good player. I wouldn't call Tyler Hero a star just yet in the NBA. Bam Adebayo, I don't think I wouldn't. But I have a different criteria. But Bam Adebayo is, I think, their best player. I wouldn't call him a star. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. Like Tyrese Halliburton, he's a star. I don't think he's a superstar. I think some people call Tyrese Halliburton. I wouldn't. That's me though. But again, he at 23, the way he's playing, yeah, maybe you could say he's on the cusp of stardom. I don't know. I want to see more of it, but I'd love to see. I'm really hoping KPJ has made a leap too. And if you have KPJ playing at a high level, you have Ryan Rollins playing at a high level, and then Giannis comes back. I'm telling you, you have a chance. You really do. Again, maybe not to win a championship, but you have a chance at doing some really good things. All right, let's take a look around the NBA. We are fast approaching midnight on the East Coast and getting into Thanksgiving. So again, I hope you guys, we'll let you out of here pretty soon. Hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. Bucks lose 106-103. Suns are up by 20 over the Kings right now. The Golden State Warriors are up 12 over the Rockets. Spurs up 2 over the Blazers. Celtics beat the Pistons by 3 tonight. Pistons dropped to 15-3. The Knicks beat the Hornets. They're 11-6. Raptors have won 9 in a row. They're 14-5. Like again, I don't think the Raptors are much better than the Bucks. I really don't. They've won 9 in a row, and I feel fine in a series against the Raptors. I really would. Thunder beat the Timberwolves tonight, 113-105. And then the Grizzlies beat the Pelicans in overtime, 133-128. Again, you have 3 big games tomorrow in the NFL. You got the Packers and the Lions starting things off 1 Eastern. You got Chiefs, Cowboys. You got Bengals, Ravens as your nightcap. Expect some big things from Lamar Jackson. Really interested in that Chiefs Cowboys matchup. Chiefs did a big win last week, beating the Indianapolis Colts, getting themselves back into contention, and again, they're another team. They're 6-5 right now. They're gonna need to go on a run. The Cowboys are 5-1. They need to go on a run. They had both of these teams big wins. Cowboys beat the Eagles last week. And Van Lee, so you about to get banned. Said no offense, you kind of like a thick Ryan Rollins. That's crazy work. Crazy work. Don't get yourself banned in here. Chiefs had a big win last week. Dallas had a big win. Both of these teams fighting. And it feels like they're both in their last gasp. So, I mean, again, neither one of the teams can afford to lose. Neither one can afford to lose. Because Chiefs lose tomorrow, you can make an argument. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. I really don't. Cowboys are already way on the outside looking in. They lose tomorrow, it's going to be rough on them. Both of these teams need big endings to the year to get where they want to be. Ravens 6-5 as well. They need to win. A lot of teams need wins. And here's the other thing. Packers-Lions. Packers at 7-3-1, Lions at 7-4. Loser of that game could definitely be on the outside looking in. There's no question about it. Okay. The only other thing solo guru tonight. I'm solo for the last 10 minutes or so. The only other thing I want to get at, did you guys see this argument between Kenyon Martin and it was Gil's Arena and Nick Young. I thought that was hilarious. I think they were arguing about Draymond Green, because it's really the argument between Draymond Green and Kenyon Martin. And Draymond, they're talking about the difference between a role player and what Kenyon Martin was and what Draymond Green's role is with the Golden State Warriors. And again, the only thing I get back to is just ring culture, man, has killed so much. Ring culture has changed so much. It's just changed the way we talk about sports and the way we talk about athletes. I agree, James Moore says Kenyon would body Draymond. And I don't want to take anything away from what Draymond does. Like, Draymond is one of the most important role players of all time. He definitely helped that team get to a championship. But just like the Golden State Warriors didn't need KD twice to win a championship, I think they would have won a couple rings without Draymond. I don't think he wouldn't have won no rings without Draymond Green. I disagree with that. They didn't win a ring. Steph Curry is good. He would have won a ring without Draymond Green. Probably multiple championships without Draymond Green. Klay Thompson, him alone, winning more. Klay Thompson, him, KD, winning rings without Draymond Green. Andre Iguodala won the Finals MVP. I think they would have came up just fine. Maybe they don't have, because what does Steph have, 4? Maybe they don't have 4, but I'd say they at least got 2 or 3 without Draymond Green. Kenyon Martin was a better player. He did more things. I'm not trying to take away the influence of Draymond Green and what he did, but Draymond Green is like the ultimate role player. He played his role to a T, and you need guys like that. Like a PJ Tucker, what he did with the PJ Tucker was, for that Bucks team in 21, ultimate role guy. The ultimate role. He played his role. You can't find a guy to play a role better than that. Justice, go Pat, go. Guru game ball running the solo. Appreciate you, Justin. I'm trying to do a little solo guru out here for just a second. But you can't play a role better than Draymond Green played it where he was at. Now they talked about having Kenyon Martin having big time point guard playing with Jason Kidd, but he was leading scorer on that team. Again, is Kenyon Martin a better player? Yes. And as an individual, yes. But it's just, where do you rank that when you're talking about the two guys? Again, whose career would you rather have? I don't know. I'd probably rather be Kenyon Martin as far as careers had. Like, I don't know. But again, there's something to win the champ. Draymond, again, social media, Kenyon Martin in this era, in social media, you can't compare him as far as who would you rather be. Draymond Green has more name recognition, but that's because of the era he plays in. But yeah, Kenyon Martin was a dog. Kenyon Martin was absolute. They played for the Bucks for a second. Kenyon Martin was a dog. All right. Carnivorous lunar activity says Draymond isn't a role player. He's one of the greatest defenders in NBA history. Plus, prime Draymond was able to score as well. Prime Draymond was able to score as well. I know about prime Draymond was able to play make a little bit. I don't know if I say prime Draymond was able to score as well. But let's look up his stats. Let's look up his best year scoring. Draymond's best year scoring in 2015, he did average 14 points a night. He's averaged 8.7 points a year for his career. Let me just look. I'm just gonna look up Kenyon Martin stats. Just so we're clear here. I don't know why this did that. Go back. All right, it's giving me some weird. Why is this doing this? Let me pull up this way. Kenyon Martin's career stats. Okay, what was his best points per game? His best. He averaged 16 twice. Okay, well, it wasn't so he did average 16 twice. So Draymond did have a 14-point. So that is a little different. But again, there was a little more consistency with Kenyon Martin. 12 points rookie year, 14, 16, 16, 15, 12, before things kind of spiraled off a little bit. And Draymond really only had one good year scoring at 14 points a game. Let me look at that one more time. He had 1 year where he averaged 14. He had a stretch from 2014 to 2017 where he averaged 11, 14, 10, and 11. I don't know. Dustin White says Draymond is anywhere near one of the best defenders in history. Stop disrespecting who Kenyon was. Easily one of the best in the league. So unappreciated. I will agree. He's definitely underappreciated. For sure underappreciated. There's no question. No question underappreciated. Draymond is one of the best defenders in league history. I don't know if he's the best. I think that's a little up for debate. But it's a good debate. I like Kenyon Martin. I think he's a better player overall. It says more to his game. Draymond, again, has a better history against some, and that's just where he went. I've said it before. People have said I'm wrong, but I'll say it. PJ Tucker, you put him in Golden State. I think they're talking about PJ Tucker just like they talk about Draymond Green. That's just me, though. That's just me. All right, that's it, man. That's all I got for you. Again, want to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Hopefully wherever you're going, if you've made it to your destination, that you're there. I'll be traveling tomorrow out to so again, just everybody, hopefully wherever you're traveling, you get there safely and have a nice fun. Don't argue with your relatives too much on Thanksgiving. Get fat and happy, all that good stuff, whatever you're eating. And we'll be back to talk about it. I don't know if we'll be back Friday. I'm not sure. If we'll be, I'm just not sure if we'll be back Friday. I don't know if we'll be back Monday. I don't know. Maybe so we may have a skeleton crew. We'll figure it out. But I'm not sure what it looks like. But for sure after the fact, we'll be back at least Wednesday for sure. 'Cause I think there's a game. I want to say, let me see the schedule really quickly. So the Bucks play Friday against the Knicks. That's one I'm not sure about. They got Saturday against the Nets. Another one I'm not sure about for us as far as Monday against the Wizards. Not sure about. But for sure, we will be back. I'll be back for sure Wednesday night against the Pistons. Appreciate everybody, all the love as well to you for your Thanksgiving. Again, we appreciate you guys for rocking out with us for year 3 of the Cream City crossover. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us tonight on Thanksgiving Eve, and we appreciate it. As always, you guys, all your super chats, all the comments, all the love, all the participation. We'll have some good stuff for you, maybe some giveaways as well as the season continues to move on. Again, it's a lot of basketball left, people. A lot of basketball. Don't give up on these Bucks just yet. A lot of basketball, and I think this team's got some good stuff, and I think they're gonna figure this thing out and be okay. Bucks lose it tonight, 106-103. Again, if you didn't like that, if you didn't hit the like button on the way in, please hit the like button on the way out as you exit and get ready for your Thanksgiving festivities. Some of y'all cooking tonight. Some of y'all getting that food ready tonight. Some of y'all already starting that preparation. Some of you guys getting your bags, whatever you're doing. Again, we appreciate it. Hope you have a safe and happy Thanksgiving and a happy holidays. Let's see. I ain't got nothing else for you. Again, this has been another edition of Cream City Crossover. This is the best Milwaukee Bucks Postgame Show in all the land. Tell a friend and tell a friend, tell another friend about the Cream City Crossover. This has been a Cream City Media Group production from the Goose, Ray Crosby III. Nobody else here? Again, appreciate it. Happy holidays. Don't take no wooden. Oh, if I am the enemy, it's only because I dare to tell you the truth. Don't take no wooden nickels, folks.